When you're watching these videos, you're looking at a form or a being that didn't exist a few years ago. I was deeply disturbed as a human being, always seeking the future to satisfy some needs and wants of my mind. The being that I've become today, it's almost as if I'm thinking of a bad nightmare when I think about my life before. There was no peace. There was no satisfaction. There was no feeling of worthiness. There was no feeling of success and purpose. What this knowledge brought me to is, it's so profound that I can't really describe it. It can't be put into words. It's beyond the mind. This is so magical to live this way. It's beyond what the mind can understand. That's the whole point. This is the form's life. The mind was never happy. It always thought it needed more, wanted more, needed to gain this or that in order to be fulfilled. And now there's just fulfilled. You know, a friend of mine sent over this little book, and they always wanted me to read some spiritual stuff. I have very little time for any of that stuff. But it was in the book. It said, "Hey, what more do you need, or what more do you want?" And I felt this little voice in me just say, "Nothing, nothing. There's nothing I need. There's nothing I want." It's amazing to me to have this experiment be working so deeply now that my mind is still not happy about it. I'm at peace, and the mind is bitching, going, "Wow, I really wish we could wish for something. I wish we could dream for something. You know, remember when we used to be able to do this?" And I'm watching my mind. Here I am, my whole body's at peace, and my mind is still bitching about wanting to be able to wish. It used to wish, now it wishes it could wish. Do you understand how screwed up that is? But the voice is there, man. It's there. All I can tell you is that one day I realized I had been at peace, and I didn't know when that shift occurred, and I didn't even know how long I'd been there. But all of a sudden, I didn't need or want anything to be different than what was happening right then. And my mind can't move more than about 15 minutes now. It's so concentrated to live this way. It's like you're really in this life now, here, in this form, living. And the mind still tries to take its little vacations to the future and the past, but it has no energy. It's like a little dog running in the backyard now. It's and it hits the end of its chain, clink, and it falls. You know, it's like it tries to go out there, but it doesn't go out there anymore. This knowledge will compress you into this moment in a way that your mind not only doesn't understand, but doesn't like. You know, the mind loses its power over you, and you become form conscious. Form consciousness. You know, human design is a knowledge that allows you to become form conscious. It means that you learn to operate your vehicle from the form. And what that guarantees is that you're not listening to your mind. In this process of becoming form consciousness, or becoming form conscious, your mind will have to be shattered. The mind-made you will have to be shattered into pieces. And this is a very scary experience for most people. What happens so often is when people begin their study in human design, the mind actually gets excited. The mind starts to go with you. You will know when you're really getting close when you start to hit this place we call the wall of fear, where the mind gets scared. And if your mind starts to get scared and starts to really resist this knowledge, I want you to embrace that time, because that means your form is starting to take over. The awareness in your vehicle is starting to go to the form instead of the head. You can feel it as a movement in your body as you start to become more connected. You're either going down and finding your inner authority from the body and the form, which is here to drive you, or you're going up and thinking about what you should do. When you get to that wall of fear, I want you to celebrate it. We call this shattering. The mind-made you will have to be shattered, because all of a sudden the things you thought you want, you'll see that was an illusion. You'll start to see that the vehicle already has a trajectory. It has a place it's going in this life. And your mind has no access to that program. So I'm really inviting you with the study of human design to become form conscious. And that means that there's very little study involved. This is a form-based knowledge, and you learn it from the form. And once you do that, and you hit those walls of fear and you go through the shattering, you know, it'll feel like you're dying at times. Many people here have experienced days or weeks where they feel like they're being torn apart and dying. The old pattern in you is dying. and the form is starting to take its life back. I want you to celebrate the fear when and if you get there. So if you'd like support in the process of going through your awakening to your form consciousness, if you'd like to have an immersion learning experience and be around people that do understand what that fear is like and have been through it and hit that wall of fear and shattered through to discover who we really were, I really invite you, if something's singing in your body, to get in contact with us, and we'll try to arrange that stay for you. And hopefully that will be some support to help you through what can be a very scary time.